Well, some breaking news to tell you about late this afternoon, and it involves the five-time Masters winner Tiger Woods. Remember, we saw him at Augusta, made the cut on the number, but clearly was struggling, was forced to withdraw on that marathon Sunday. And this was the information that Woods and his camp released earlier today, said that Tiger underwent something called a subtalar fusion procedure to address traumatic arthritis from his previous talus fracture. So this was surgery on his ankle. It was performed in New York at the Hospital for Special Surgery by Dr. Martin O'Malley, who determined the surgery to be a success. Tiger, as the tweet says, is currently recovering and looks forward to beginning his rehabilitation. And rehabilitation is something that is no stranger to Woods. There you see a timeline of some of the more notable surgeries that he has had. By our count, some 10 surgeries or more, and that's not even including the surgeries related to that terrible accident in Los Angeles a couple of years ago. And with that, we bring in Todd Lewis, who has spent a good deal of time with Woods, most recently at the Masters. Todd, what can you tell us?
Well, I can tell you, just like his spine, his ankle is now fused. The reason the surgery was performed is to, as the tweet indicated, to help with the arthritic pain. Let's not forget that in that accident, his right ankle was essentially shattered. He has a lot of hardware in that ankle. And because the ankle has so many joints, there is arthritic pain associated with that type of injury. And his ankle has been the problem. He's told me, not to say that his leg has not been a problem as well, but his ankle has been the most serious problem. Now, what this is going to do is going to reduce the arthritic pain, this surgery and this procedure, but it's also going to limit some of his mobility in that right ankle. Now, when will we see Tiger? That's the big question. I talked to Henry Fleischman, who's a noted surgeon, and he told me that you can expect on the average 10 to 12 weeks of recovery from this procedure. So that means Tiger Woods that looks like he's not going to play the PGA Championship. He likely will not now play the U.S. Open. He could possibly, if his recovery is successful, possibly play the Open. Now, Dr. Fleischman also said that you will have the most positive full effects from this procedure a year after the surgery. So right now, Tiger Woods is hopefully going to be in less pain, but it's going to take him a while before he really sees the full extent of that.
Todd, he is 47 years old. He is so enormously popular every time he gets out there and gives it a go. And, we heard a number of people say, most specifically Rory McIlroy at the Masters, saying that he still can hit all the shots. It's the walking that's the hardest part for him.
Yeah, and he's right. And Rory's good friends with Tiger. It is the most difficult part for him. And if you look at his swing, it has changed quite a bit as well. He can't really push off that right leg. He's got more of a upper core swing, but he does have all the shots, and he's still, in my opinion, the best game manager ever in the game of golf. But again, these injuries continue to bother him, and the walking is a big problem for him, walking 72 holes, especially when you're at an environment like the Masters, which has so much elevation, and then you combine the rain and the heaviness of the golf course. So it's a really difficult challenge for Tiger when he gets into a golf course that's got a lot of hills, and weather is a problem.
It's interesting. We see the video there of Tiger with his caddy, Joe LaCava, and Joe was very honest, as he always is at the Masters. When people asked him about Tiger's condition, he said, well, he's pretty banged up. Well, that's Joe being Joe. I think the question at this point that a lot of people are asking, every time I run into somebody who asks me about Tiger, the question is, how long can he go on?
Well, let's see what this procedure does. If it helps his arthritic pain, again, he will have a little more limited mobility now. If this helps him with his pain, he can still play like he wants to play 4 or 5, maybe even 6 tournaments a year. We're just going to have to see how this procedure plays out. But the doctor said it was a success. We know Tiger is very motivated when he has an issue where he needs to do some physical therapy. I think he'll come back and try to give it his best once again. We're just going to have to see how this procedure plays out.
He's the bionic man, 47 years old. In case you missed the news,
Yeah.
Tiger Woods with yet another surgery.